Let's discuss replacing the upstream oxygen sensor on this 2001 Honda Odyssey 3.5 liter equipped van. Now, upstream versus downstream O2 is described as to if it's before the catalytic converter or after the catalytic converter. And bank 1 is always going to be where cylinder number 1 is. So now this particular vehicle, even though it's a V6, only has one bank for oxygen sensor. So we have a pre-cat and a post-cat, or upstream or downstream as it may be referred to. So we'll see where it's mounted here. It's a good idea if you notice that there's some oil leaking here. That might be what's damaging our oxygen sensor. So if we're replacing the oxygen sensor and it's contaminated with oil or coolant, it's a good idea to fix the root cause of the problem. Otherwise, we're going to damage our new component. Now, if I turn the wheels here, you'll notice something rotating up here as well. That's the right front axle shaft spinning beyond here. And so we have to be careful to put the new wire harness that comes with a new sensor tied up out of the way so it doesn't get tangled around that axle and cause more damage. So there's a couple wire ties holding this in place currently. Don't worry, the new sensor comes with new wire ties to use. So we're going to go up and disconnect the electrical connector. Once that's unplugged, we're going to take our 7/8 open end wrench, or if you have an O2 socket, which is split open and will slide over that, we're going to put it on here, and we're going to have to give it a little extra oomph at first to break it loose. Then we'll be able to spin it out. Now that we've got our old oxygen sensor out and our new one, it's a good idea to compare the two of them and verify that the thread pitch looks the same, the depth is the same. So you see it's almost identical match on this particular one. Now let's go over to the other side of it and we'll take a look at the connectors here. And so we want to make sure that our new connector looks identical to the original one. So the lineup tabs are the same. They're both a 4-wire sensor. We want to make sure before we go through the effort here that our new sensor is going to plug in and work. It looks identical to the one we're taking out. So before we plug it in, first thing we want to do is thread it into the hole. If you plug it in first, you're going to do nothing but twist the wires. And as you can see, sometimes it's difficult to get these things started properly. So we're going to leave the wire hang free, and we will start it and work the wire along with it as we tighten the sensor into the exhaust pipe. Once it's installed all the way, we'll take our wrench, our 7/8 again, and tighten it snugly to compress the washer that seals it off. And then we'll go about installing it in the proper grommets here. We'll use the wire ties that came equipped with the new sensor in order to keep this away from the axle. We'll go ahead and plug this in. Then it's time to go back into the computer, clear the codes, and monitor, ensure that the new sensor is working properly. And now the vehicle is done. We've just installed our new upstream O2 sensor on this Honda Odyssey.